We have regrets from Richard at the last minute, had to make a trip to the airport, and I think we have regrets from Pete and Fiona. We don't have regrets. Who might join us by video conference. We'll see, but we have quorum now, so we thought we'll be respectful of our time. I'm sure everybody's got a busy week ahead, so trying to get back in the heat. So I'll call the meeting to order. That's okay with everybody? We're all set? Okay. So once again, welcome. My gosh, time's flying. We're sort of edging towards the end of August, although you wouldn't really be able to tell with our another heat warning. Feels more like the middle of July, but that's okay. We can stretch this out. I think campaign-wise, we'll probably be picking up speed again. I have a feeling everybody will be back to their, reading the paper and back to their offices and making phone calls. So I'm looking forward to that. It's been nice to slow down just a little bit during the summer, although we'll see in the financial report, you'd hardly tell that we've slowed down. So that's good. So let's look at the agenda. Anything you'd like to add or change? Okay, so if there are no additions, then I'll ask for a mover and seconder to approve the agenda. Jamie? Ruth Ann? All in favor? Okay. So that's good that way then. So since we don't have anyone online, that we don't have to do the roll call. We'll adjust that if Fiona joins us. Excellent. So adoption of minutes then. So July 19th. And another productive meeting. I'm assuming you had a chance to review the minutes in the package. Any omissions, error, thing we need to add? That's good. Set. Okay, so can I have a mover and seconder to adopt the minutes of July 19th, 2021? Jamie? Jim? All in favor? Carried. Disclosure of pecuniary interest. Seeing none, we'll carry on to our donation update. I can turn it over to you, Jennifer. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. This report is up to August the 19th from July 15th report. There isn't a lot of change in what we've been bringing in. However, you will notice there's a shift between what's outstanding and what's received. So you have donations coming in, which is great. 5,000 was received from what was outstanding in July, and 25,000 was received from the pledges. That's money in. And then at the bottom, the expenses, we had a few more expenses. About $1,190 was spent on the advertising and promotion side. So the difference from July to August is a slight decrease of $1,100 approximately. On page 2, we were busy this month providing some supplemental reporting, and we developed this sort of a long range look for you so that you'll understand when the pledges are due and when they're coming in. So at the top, the cash and checks, we're expecting those to come in 2021. Credit cards are as they are up to date. We can't anticipate what that might be, although if you would like me to put something in there, just let me know. And donations prior to the start of the campaign, that remains the same. Pledges, of course, those are a long term. So the campaign goes for 3 years, but I have had to expand that out to a 5-year pledge because that's where the pledges are coming in at a 5-year, which is fine. And at the bottom, fees, we have an estimated amount in years 22 and 23 because that will still remain to be an issue as long as we're getting credit card items over the internet. And signage, we took the signage amount and we expanded that over the 3 years of the campaign as well as the fundraising consultants, because that has a bit of a longer term life. You do that early in the campaign, but it relates to the entire campaign. And then advertising and promotion, the 6,000 is in the current year, and then subsequently expect that there would be additional advertising throughout the life of the campaign over the next 2 years. So that's how we sort of ended up with that amount. So for the percentage of donation expense to donation revenue, you have about almost 8.5%. Annual fundraising goal, you've reached 50% of your annual goal. And overall, the goal campaign to date is 29% of the goal. So that's very good at this point. I think you're about a quarter of the way there, which is almost what you expect to be. So, and just to highlight there for you that the allocated amounts were in blue and the estimated amounts are in red. So if there's any other questions or comments, otherwise, the report is before you to be received and filed.
Thank you, Jennifer. Comments, questions? Catherine.
Just a quick comment, just to clarify in case anyone was confused. We always send this report after we've sent the agenda because we want to wait the longest amount of time. We have certain notice requirements to notify the public about a meeting and send out an agenda. But if we download the results from the donation results from the website in advance of the agenda, that means it's almost a week and a half before we meet. So in the past, we've missed several significant donations that have happened in that period of time. So in order to be as close as possible to the meeting, that's why Jen waits and downloads the results as close as possible and then circulate the report after. And that's why you see it attached to the minutes in the next agenda, because we want to share the report with the public as well. But we want it to be as close to the date so that the committee is receiving the most accurate and up-to-date information. So in case you wondered why you received the report from the last meeting attached to the minutes, that's why, because we want it on the public record. But we also want, we don't want to miss any big donations and have to then wait to report on them till next month.
Thank you for clarifying that. So yeah, does that work for everybody? I know it's a little bit of, so you're getting 2 emails in preparation for the meeting, but I think it's manageable. Perhaps didn't make a huge difference this month because it was a little quieter, but in the past, I fully agree that it's kind of nice to see the most recent amounts. So, so if that works for everybody, we'll continue this way. And thank you, Jennifer, for continuing to improve on the format. It makes it clearer and clearer each time. And now that every time, because we adjust to the type of donations we're getting. So now we have pledges, we can see sort of the big picture and allocate expenses as well. So
yeah, if there's anything that you would like to see in addition, just let me know and I can certainly work with Dominique throughout the month to get it on the agenda or on the report. So that's comes in.
excellent. And I think the only donation, significant donation that came in, and I think it's in here, but it's since our last meeting, was from West Elgin Insurance. I think we circulated that news by email. I think it was $3,900 to purchase the remainder of the benches that we had advertised in the catalog. So that's great news. So we can continue the challenge to other insurance companies out there, brokers who we've got a nice 2 or 3 now who have contributed. So that's great news. Anything else on this? Like I said, a little quieter this time, so not a big change in percentages, but otherwise it looks like we're on track. Certainly ready to pick up a bit of momentum and then, dare I say, holiday Christmas season, and we'll come back to that when we talk about strategies, but, so great work. Encouraging news, so, okay. And I think we discussed last time also, like, so we did increase, we went up to 675 to reflect the donation for the staff patio. So initially, our overall goal was for 650,000, but there was nothing in our catalog for staff. So that was a great suggestion, and it was an addition, so we thought, so even though it was a wonderful $25,000 donation, still wasn't part of the wish list, and we still need all of the other items in the catalog, so but we can do it, an extra 25. We'll get to 675, so wanted to make sure everybody was there on why that number changed. All right, so can I have a mover and seconder to receive and file the financial report? Okay. Ruthann, all in favor? Carrie, thank you. Thank you, Jennifer, so much. Every month we figure out one more little thing in the system. So last month was how,
That's always good.
yeah,
to
but
have the most information that you can get.
yeah, so now the actual pledge is fully it works. Like how it has to notify the donor once a year. We've got that all automated and tested, and so every month, little progress. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
All right, so media and advertising. So the one thing for sure today I'd like to discuss is then what's coming up in terms of, so our next mini campaign for the Elmer Express, which we can also promote on social media, is we discussed, and we circulated that early by email, but there's still a decision to be made today, but all about like tying into the learning and the back to school season and all of the items that are related to learning and memory care. So thank you for the initial round of feedback that came by email. So we do have two versions of an ad that I wanted to share with you. And so I emailed it this morning just so you'd have a copy, but I think we can pull it up on screen as well. So we took a little pause. I think the last 3 weeks, we assume there was a lot of people on vacation and not paying too much attention to the news, hopefully. But we're ready to start with the new theme. So all about learning. So the tagline being lifelong learning. And so each week, again, for the next 8 weeks, so we have 4 ads coming up. This would be the first one. And so we just have 2 slightly different versions. The text is the same. And you've seen this first one, the lifelong learning is blue, so cursive writing on white. And then the second one, you want to scroll down, is, more of a chalkboard feel, with the marker that perhaps to tie into the back to school theme, but being very, very mindful of, we're not dealing with children, and memory care is not, about like tying in, like primary level learning to residents, memory care that we work on. So I'm not sure if there are comments, reactions, preferences.
This is just an observation from me myself when we're doing advertising. The lower one with looks like the chalkboard, looks like every other ad that you see in the paper.
Right.
When you do cursive writing or something that's a little bit more airy looking, it catches your eye because it's different than the rest.
Nice.
So that's just an observation from my own advertising.
Yeah.
And clients do comment on it, so it's
Nice.
just my personal preference.
Yep. Yeah, I think that was the first design from the Elmer Express design team as well. And as well, just as a kind of backup, if you wanted more of that sort of school feel. But I agree, I think their first proposition seems to work.
Can we move back down to the?
Yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Well, I'm saying yes, but the magic is happening over there. Thank you.
I find that one a little bit easier to read when you first look at it. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
It's not as cluttered.
yeah, less busy, very warm. I find with the comforts of home, like the whole themes from the beginning is intended to be warm and inviting. Is that the preference for everyone? I know for sure too. Yeah, Ruthann, you like it? Do you like it?
Yep.
Okay. And so in this one, we're promoting the Abby system, which is that computer system that's, you know, specifically for memory care. So, so we got permission from the company to use one of their photos that features the system really well. So in case anyone asks, and I don't know if you noticed, at our last meeting, there was a suggestion of using photos from our residents and not using like these stock photos of these people we don't know. So the two ads that followed our meeting were provided by Tanya with our residents. I thought they were lovely. And so that's the plan for this whole campaign. So this one is a bit of an exception because we want to feature the actual system, which I don't believe we have. That's why we need to fundraise for it. But that was a great suggestion. And sorry, Tanya, I'll come back to you, Jamie. And Tanya, I wasn't paying attention to the screen, or Michelle, did you have a preference regarding the two ads or comments?
I'm in full agreement with the first one. That was my pick as well.
Yeah,
I also agree.
nice. Okay, and thank you for sourcing that photo and getting permission, Tanya. Much appreciated. Great. So then we have, I don't think we need an official motion for the decision on the ad, but yeah, looking forward to Jamie and Jim.
The Abby system itself is a pretty cool thing. But I don't know how much anyone knows about it. So the picture doesn't really do it justice. So is there something that we can do, if that's what we're promoting, is there something that we can do to help people understand what it is and why they would want to contribute to it? Because I think it's an amazing thing and I talk about it all the time. But if there was another way to.
How we could promote it or explain more. So Tanya, do you remember, is there a video, for example, like a link?
Yeah, like, could we put that on our?
Yeah.
Yeah, the website has a link for video.
Right,
So our donation website has a link for video for it?
not now.
That's what I, like, if they're looking at the donation and they see this Abby, what is it? So if we could do a link to a video, I think that'd be a great idea.
Would you like me to look at them and then forward one?
Yeah,
I
there's
know they have
probably,
two.
yeah, there's probably more than one. Yeah, so if you could advise us on the one you recommend,
Sure.
that would be great.
Yep.
So let's put it, and when we do this ad on our social media, we can also put a link to the Abby system. I was kind of thinking maybe at the bottom of the photo, do you think we could put a link, not the full video link, but to the company, like the Abby.com
Or we
or something?
you have to donate too. You could put just a little line that says, for more information on the Abby system, go to the link,
Right, right.
or like go to the link on our donation page or something like that.
Yeah,
Some way that they can find out what it is.
Yeah.
I can make it our feature
yes,
item,
yes,
main page, so then they just have to navigate to that page and they'll see that.
yes. Yeah, so that will be the feature, so we'll match the ad and then there will be a link, so then you can also send that to some of your donors and say, this is the focus, you need to purchase this, because if I remember on top of my head, one of these systems, I think, is about $6,500 for one of them. So that would be a nice donation, one item that, you know, would really, really make a big difference. So the more we can promote that, the better.
There is also included in the donations, I believe like there's a month, like an annual membership, I think also on there. It's for
Okay.
a user to be individually set up to use the system. So there's also, I think, that option.
Right. So we need donations to pay for those subscriptions. Yes. Excellent. Yeah, so I think all the items we have for this mini campaign, we've got the memory boxes, the word clouds, for example. So we'll promote those in the future ads. And so I think the goal for this mini campaign is 65 is what we're aiming for. So that's what we expect to see in the media. So lots of, again, ramping up social media. So even with emails, through your contacts, by all means, if you need anything, we'll make sure everybody has a copy of the ad, the final ad, so you can send it yourself. Don't hesitate. We can, the more we share it, the better.
And just a question, these are being sent to the German radio station as well, right?
Yes, we can.
David said that each time
Yes.
a new promotion to just send it on over to them and they'll.
True. So, yeah, so a couple of updates on that then. So certainly the poster has been translated by Abe or his team at Mennonite Community Services. So that's great. And Elmer Express is looking into adapting and like creating the poster in Low German. For the ad, so I have to admit that because you're right, he invited us to share whatever like promotional items we have. My thought was we were going to create a generic one, but do you think we should match this and then do it each time?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Take full advantage of it.
Yeah, and it's already created, it's already written.
This
Yeah.
is something that might be appealing to them because it's going to speak to them in their language. Is that what I understand, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I
Okay.
think that this is a really good one to send to them.
Okay, so let's not reinvent the wheel, or let's repurpose something that's already written and endorsed by everybody, get it translated, and then they can, so that becomes a script. I guess they can finesse it into a proper script on the radio, but great idea. Thank you.
So they making posters up in the Low German?
Yes,
Okay,
yes, so the regular poster we got last
yeah,
month
yeah.
is being, so it's, yeah, just been translated. I sent it
A
to,
couple of those would be good in the lodge too, because.
yes. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I asked for about 25 copies. Do you think that's to start? That should be enough to get us started?
Yeah,
Okay. Radio ads, for sure. Great idea. Yeah, so as soon, I think we'll have those ready pretty soon. I think as soon as these ads were done and this campaign is launched, then they'll be able to switch over to the poster.
Also, if we could get a JPEG version,
Yes.
we could also share that with the Mennonite Community Services. They might share it on their.
Yeah, on there. Yeah.
And you're sending them all to Josh now too, right?
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
that's good.
Okay, so we'll circulate the JPEG version. Oh, and I think the article in the North Shore Beacon just was published last week. So yeah, so from the website, I can't remember how it got to me. I saw it but on Facebook, it didn't allow to share. So I think, but if we go to the link of the newspaper, then you can share from there as opposed to through Facebook. So that was a nice little feature with, I'm going to draw a blank on her name, our mayor, of the resident council. So she's featured, so there's a nice picture and they interviewed her
For like Carol.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So they interviewed her for the article and,
Good.
yeah, so it's a nice feature. It's a little bit different and it's not just on the campaign, but it definitely promotes the campaign and the whole redevelopment. So, yeah, so I'm gonna make sure you have a copy of that and just remember that like I said, it sort of flashed through my feed very quickly and I couldn't share it. Good. Anything else? Media and advertising. We'll be good to go for the next month. There's no motion then for this item that we need. Donor recognition, I think we'll be prepping soon. So I think we're lining up a few of the most recent donors for additional photos. So watch for that. I think we'll do that maybe early September.
That's a good idea. Have a few.
Yeah, so we'll line up the next round. We've learned from the last one, it's pretty efficient, so we can actually schedule them really back to back, so it takes no time. Like initially, we wanted to be very safe, and so we had lots of time in between, but I think we can be even more efficient with your time as well and the photographer's time. So watch for that for an invitation. It's great to have committee members to be part of the photos and we can take another stab at a group photo and but also with each donor pair up with a different committee member. That'll be nice. So watch for that. I'm almost done. So I've also accumulated the thank you cards for the last few months. So they're almost all done, just looking up a few postal codes and I'll be mailing those this week. And as far as recognition, I don't think there's anything else. We will, so it's still, I haven't forgotten, and we still need to work on the display in Terrace Lodge. So we had agreed on a monitor, a large monitor, so where we can, feature donors, we can put ads from the, different corporations. So we already have the template done that we're using. I don't know if you noticed on the website, there is, Catherine's updating the list of donors. So at the top of our donate to terracelodge.ca website, there's a constant feed that rotates and with new donors. So we can start with that. We can add logos and company logos and so we'll be working on that. So that's still on the radar now and touch wood, there are more people who can access the lodge and actually see the ad. So it's worthwhile looking into. Comments, questions on that item? Good. Okay, so moving to fundraising strategies. So at our last meeting, we, in principle, agreed to look into legacy giving and developing a brochure, keeping in mind that, it can be a sensitive topic and it's something that we need to do properly. I circulated a number of examples from other organizations. I don't know if you had a chance. You'll see some of them are very extensive, multi-page booklets, all the way to, very simple. So I think I'm kind of leaning on the side of simple, just, basic information.
Yeah.
So for your review, and I know you've just received this, this is a very rough mock-up. It's not actually designed properly, like by professionals. I just wanted to give you an idea and get some feedback so if you fold it, it should look roughly. The intent is to look like a trifold, where we start with make life-changing senior care in our community your legacy. Consider Terrace Lodge in your will. That would be the cover. And So on the inside, again, like picking and choosing from different, well, first off, from our own brochures so that we're consistent with the key message. And then learning from the advice we receive from the consultants and from other brochures from other organizations, this what we could consider as our brochure. So obviously with the professional touch from a proper designer that would fold properly. And this is really, really just to give you an idea about the kind of content. So it's a balance of giving a bit of information about the campaign and the comforts of home, and a little bit of information on, so how do you do that? So what's recommended as next steps? And so trying to be as concrete as possible, and then, but at the end of the day, just saying, if you need more information, here's the contact. What are your thoughts? Is that what you envision? Would that, do you think that would be useful? Like this kind, like not too much information, trying to hit the right amount?
I think it looks great. I noticed one typo on the first page, which I'm sure somebody would pick up anyways, but
Oh,
instead of,
it's not proofread, you're right.
yeah, loved ones instead of loves ones on that first, if you scroll up there in the middle. But yeah, it looks great, and pulling from our brochure is just pulls everything together nicely. So I found it very factual, but presented in a nice, easy to understand manner. Lays out the steps on how to proceed if they're interested.
And thank you for that.
And it would be done like in a glossy paper or something.
Yeah,
To make it look like.
yeah, like a proper,
Yeah,
definitely professional grade, both on the design and also the different, we can pick different photos. I took these ones from the ones we've already used. We can work with Tanya to feature, residents with their permission or additional photos that we have. Any concerns?
I think it's very well done.
Okay, so if there's overall endorsement, then I'll definitely, and if you want to have a closer read, when you have a little bit more time, and if there's anything else you think of, like I said, I know you're receiving this just today, so let me know. In the meantime, I can send it to Elmer Express for their, to see if they're willing to partner with us on this. It's not in the current budget that they've donated, but we'll ask them first, because that's what ended up happening with the poster. And they said, no, we'll do it. So we're glad they accepted their offer for the poster.
Dominique, I wondered if it might be advisable to, in the lead up to it, have the other option of making donation to Terrace Lodge, or consider,
Hmm,
and then it doesn't look like, well, this is the only way you can do it.
right,
I'm just wondering about that.
right.
if you would like, how do I say it? If you would like the memory of your loved ones to continue,
Mm-hmm,
because then maybe they would do something like the annual fee for the Abbey or the annual fee for the Netflix. Maybe they would make it something that was ongoing.
right.
I don't know how to word that, but.
Right.
Thought is.
So, yeah, so the first thing that comes to mind based on those comments is, first off, like, even just having our, like we have in the ad, like the donate to terracelodge.ca. Because then, once we land on that page, then we can attach this brochure and just with one line, and then you see that that's not the only way to give, right? So on one hand, you want a separate document that is specific, but at the same time, you kind of want to leave that impression that there are many other ways to give. So like, go to the website for other ways to give or to know more about the campaign. Yeah, so that would tie it together. Yes. Excellent. And we add it to the website as well. We can add the PDF once it's polished.
Because my brain works that way. But after saying that, like, so is there some way that they could leave like a lump sum in a fund that would do exactly that, like continue paying for that for a period of until the money runs out or whatever?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe we ask Jennifer. She might have experience with that. It's almost like a trust or a foundation or like a fund
Yeah,
that, so maybe through, sometimes they do that through a community foundation because then they can use the proceeds of the money to donate in perpetuity. So I don't know on our own, I don't know if on our own we're able to do that.
as it could be for like the specific purpose of that, right?
Yeah.
It's just,
So it's something, so for continuous. So we'll ask Jennifer. Excellent. Okay, so like I said, I will then make a few edits, send it to, or ask Elmer Express if they're willing to help us with that, and then we'll move forward. I'll circulate if it's done before our next meeting. I will circulate by email just for a final approval. Otherwise, maybe we can look at another more polished prototype next month. You know, we don't have a specific date to launch this, but the sooner the better. So we'll make it available. I figure particularly, I don't know how many copies we would make, but this is one where I could see, you agree, where we might want a little bit of a display, because this is something that belongs mostly at Terrace Lodge, right? It's targeted at residents and their family. So if it could have its own little box or display, maybe it's just a plastic clear one that and is low cost, but I'll ask for advice on that. But we'll see what the quantities would be. That's probably the primary audience there.
even if you made there's like a display board that's got 3 sides to it. And you could make it yourself and have that as your display, and then just have a small container with the brochures in it.
Right.
There was like a
So
little
that's
table
what-
where they could, yeah.
I think they have one hanging on the wall in Terrace Lodge where you can put pamphlets in.
Okay.
Tanya?
But, and that works, and it's good that they do, but if it's just the pamphlets itself, might not attract their eye. So if we had like a display board, like you'd see at a trade show or something, then it would be a little bit more visible than just the pamphlets itself.
I think it's underneath the TV.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
That they have different pamphlets in.
So, and you're thinking adding to that, like just to,
Yeah, instead of just the pamphlets sitting there. Because some people might notice, some might not, but when there's, and it might not always be there, like you can put it up for a while and then just leave them. But it'll catch their eye more if you introduce it that way. If it's just, they'll just look at this and go, oh, they're just more money for the campaign. But if you do it in a different way, it kind of catches their attention, and it might draw to the fact that you're looking for a legacy, not necessarily a donation now.
another, like just a one-time donation, yeah. Any thoughts on that, Tanya or Michelle? I don't know if you're still with us as far as the space or how we could draw attention to it.
We do have between the front doors, there is some space there that I could put it there just for a time, and that might gather more attention. There's not a lot of posters in that area, and sometimes I'll use it for family council or different things. So that's an option if it's something new and we want to put it there.
Yeah, just
That get people stop to, put hand sanitizer and wait to go in. So that could be a good location.
Find the book.
Yeah, when they sign, they have to sign in, and then so if it
No.
can be,
People no longer sign in, but
okay,
so when they're entering the front doors, there's like a little
Yep.
vestibule in there where somebody has to let them into the building. So
Yep.
there is a little kind of between the two doors, and there's a table there, and then there's also kind of a display board. And so that might be a good location, and we could have some pamphlets there that people could take. Because and then they have to wait to go in.
that's
So
right.
and I know sanitize my hands there, and then I use my key. So that might be a good location to have it.
Yeah, because they're paused and we have them captive.
That's right.
Captive audience.
That's right. Yeah, they stop for a second, and we could have some there. And I can put, the pamphlet or any information. I can put it on the little board that they have there. So.
I was gonna say, that might give us an opportunity to add more information too.
Yeah,
This
so
is
we can
great.
change it up.
Yeah, this is great for them to take and keep a reminder, but if we can put more information on the board about what it is,
Mm.
then it just might.
So something to read that would draw their attention to picking up the brochure, right? And that we could change when we get into gift giving for the holidays, and then we can change the theme, and then perhaps reserve that little spot in that entrance. Nice.
And another spot that we should also have the pamphlets is at the front office, because a lot of people, a lot of families, a lot of residents, they do stop there. So that would be another place that I would recommend having it, and it kind of fits. So that would
Yeah.
be a good location where people also stop. They're often dealing with funds or money at that spot. So to me, that would be another good location. And I
Nice.
could just have it put in an individual pamphlet slot. I can get a holder. We could have it just sitting there as well.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Is there somewhere else in the home where
That
people sit, like in sort of more lounge?
Really, no,
Not really.
front more at the entrance there, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can put some around. I mean, we can have some available in different locations. But for now, for now, I think the front office and the entrance would be a good start.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay, and I'll loop back with you then, Tanya, if that's okay, for additional photos.
Yes, and I've
Right.
sent another email to the recreation staff, so I know they'll be continue. They do have some, but I know we talked about having some that maybe include the word cloud and we haven't had a lot of children in the home, so I haven't been able to have the multi-generational, but anyway, I've put out an email again as a reminder just to have some more photos, and they are constantly taking some, so.
Nice, nice. It really makes a big difference. That was a great suggestion at last meeting. Thank you. Thank you for that. Okay, so we'll move forward with the brochure. Any other business? Before we go into closed session to talk about specific donor outreach updates?
I just have a question.
Yes.
Word cloud? I don't really know what it is. I read something about above their door, but I don't know what it is.
Tanya, do you want to give us the word cloud 101?
Well, I just noticed that Survey Monkey now does they'll do a word cloud for you with your results of your survey. So I noticed that. So what a word cloud, when we did our tour of the butterfly home, it's basically takes all different key words or meaningful parts of an individual's life, and then creates kind of a word picture with all different words that might help a visitor or a family member or the resident or the family or the staff to be able to really get to know that individual with just individual words. So it might say the country of that the person came from, and it might be that they were a farmer, or it might include that they love dogs, or just kind of a collage of words that represent that person, their interests, their past, and their family, etc. So it's a nice way to view words without having to read a kind of a paragraph about somebody. It just gives you this quick glance that gives you a reflection of all the things that make up that person and what means the most to them. Does that help as an explanation?
Yes, so is it like an electronic board that you change the words, or is it a piece of paper? Like, what is the cloud made of?
Sure. So I think that how they created the cloud, they used basically I'm going to think of how you call it. Basically a picture, but it's on a raised board. So it is a permanent, it would be a permanent word cloud. So, I mean, you could obviously change it or update it,
Right.
but it would be kind of a one-time creation based on, somebody sitting down with a resident and gathering up the, the
Right.
necessary information or talking with their family. So it looked like it was on like a raised poster board. So it is so it wouldn't be a casual, printout. It would be more of a permanent picture on a poster board, if that makes any sense.
Yep, it does.
Yeah, and we can circulate a photo or an image, an example of it, and so it can be so it's a nice display right by the door, so it's artistic, but at the same time, it's got all these words. So it's great conversation piece.
And we thought, and Dominique had a great suggestion that we maybe, like, I can create one and I can have a resident, with their word cloud. Well, I'll just find out which resident might be interested in participating in that, and we'll create something so that people can have a visual representation of that word cloud
That's a good
to see
idea.
what it would look like. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because we're thinking of featuring that in the next ad of one of
Yes.
the things, because, it's another thing that costs money. It's a wonderful add-on on so many levels. Like, it's so personal. It's good, for memory care as well. It personalizes your room and your door. So, yeah, so we'll try to have an example of it for the ad as well. Nice. Thank you for asking that. Like, sometimes, yeah, we take a few things for granted. It's like, yeah, word cloud. Everybody knows what we mean, right? So thank you. Good reminder. Shall we move into closed session then? If there's nothing else and no other new business?
Dominic,
Yes.
one of our pictures in the Elmer paper that was taken, and I think it was Elgin Roofing, showed presenting it. No, it wasn't. It was Karen Brimiak, the financial advisor, presenting the check. And I thought that was so much nicer than just us standing there with nothing to present.
Yes. Yes.
Good point.
That was my personal thought.
Yes, I agree. And in fact, I think when we had that photo session, and Elmer Express was one of the donors also with the check, Michelle talked about Elmer Express creating a check for us on a kind of whiteboard material.
I was thinking.
Right, so we'll change it each time so that every time we do a photo, you're right, then it would be, even though, yeah, we would make it would be more visual. And there would be like an actual presentation and we can both hold the check. So you're absolutely right. It makes more sense. It looks better. It's more,
I
so,
was thinking I was just old fashioned.
nope. Maybe it's far, but then I have to, because I agree. But is everybody in agreement with that. It would, I think it's something for 3 years. I mean, we're 2.5 years of the campaign, it would be worth doing. And in fact, Michelle, I don't know if anybody else heard that while we were standing there, said, I don't know, should have been thinking, why didn't we do that for them? Because there'll be, you know, presentation after presentation. So it's on her radar. So maybe I can just tweak that idea. So it was your idea.
I have,
Yes,
I canvassed a gentleman and his comment was to me, where did you get the prices for all your amenities? And I said, well, it was kind of hard to price everything out. But I said, what you're referring to
right.
is not the original price. It was one of the chairs for the auditorium. He said it was $300. What kind of a chair are you gonna sit in? Okay,
Right, the stackable chairs, I think.
yes.
Yeah, foldable, stackable chairs, yes. And we can, by all means, and we had that feedback early on some other items and we adjusted the prices. So if there's something that seems way off, by all means, we'll double check. And always good to say that this was just an initial, we have that disclaimer on the website that, you know, these prices are not final. We will source, you know, the best possible price, but these are just ballpark. So yeah, but if anything else, we'll have a look at that one. And if anything else jumps out, yeah, we'll bring those up. Thank you. Okay. Anything else? So can I have a mover and seconder then to move into closed session? Jim, Jamie, all in favor? Carried. Okay, so I think we'll stop this live. Very good, and we're back. So may I have a motion to rise and report and receive the donor update report? Ruth Ann, okay. All in favor? Carried. Excellent, thank you for that. So next meeting. Do we want to, yeah, suggestion, Catherine?
So third Monday in September is the 20th. Is election day. I don't know if that makes a
Oh.
difference.
You're out and about, come to a meeting, go vote. All in one. Yep.
I may be working that day
Yeah,
at one of the
yeah,
request yet, but we did the last selection.
yeah. Would you rather out on the 4th,
27th.
the 27th?
On a Monday, 27th?
Yeah, Monday, the 27th. Would that work for everybody?
Okay, by me.
Is that Central Elgin's meeting?
Yes, it would likely be because it's the day before our council meeting.
We want to have this room taken for the case they want to set up in the morning.
Oh, well, I don't think it's a big problem. I don't think, as long as we are
Out
having a morning meeting, then it should be fine.
Does that work for you, the 10 o'clock, Jamie? Yeah. Okay, let's tentatively do that. We'll send a confirmation. Gives us time to achieve even more.
Can I just double check a second?
Yes, of course.
So let me in. Oh, maybe. It's not gonna let me in, so I'll say yes, I'll let you know if it's not okay.
Okay, so we'll tentatively, and we'll send a confirmation. You let us know once you confirm. We'll check with Richard and Fiona and Pete. And, but otherwise, that should be our next meeting with, as usual, perhaps a few communications during the month when we need feedback or we need to, move on specific items that already have general endorsement and discussion. If it's just a, little, final yes to go ahead to print, then that will happen. So watch your email for that. Otherwise, we've got a number of really good action items from the discussion today. So very pleased with that as we continue to make great progress. Any other final comments? We're good. Still excited to be on this campaign, right? I can feel the enthusiasm. And I appreciate it. So let's adjourn the meeting then. Can I have a mover and seconder to adjourn?
Sure.
For formality. Jamie and Kay, all in favor? Great. Thank you so much for your hard work and ideas.